So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to launch a token. As you can see in my terminal, I already created a new project, and that's what's actually open here. So it's number of projects is the good lily. So I'm just going to create that, right? And so the first thing we want to do every time is just to declare our module. So it's module goody lily, and the name of this module is going to be goody lily as well. And then the first thing we want to do is declare our one-time witness, right? And then remember that the one-time witness is supposed to have the same name as the module. So I'm just going to give it the drop ability, and then that's it, right? So the next thing you want to do is declare your init function, right? And this init function is going to be where you're going to create the token. So it's just going to be fun init, and it's going to take in the one-time witness and a mutable reference to the transaction context. And so in this case, witness is going to be, in this case, goody lily, and then the context is going to be immutable reference to the transaction context. That said, we can now dive deep into this. So now we can now specify the token's metadata and then eventually create the currency. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to specify some, and so I'm going to pass them into the function. So to specify, let's specify our icon URL. So icon URL should be equal to URL, right? So there's a module for creating URLs in the Sui library. So it's just going to be Sui URL, right? And then you can now do new unsafe from bytes, new underscore unsafe from bytes, and then you now specify the bytes in this case, right? So remember to add this. Sometimes I forget to. And then you can now specify the URL. Let's just do a dummy URL like sweetbyexamples.com. And so the next thing you want to do is let's also declare decimal. You can declare all the metadata at once, but I want to just show you how to do it in the function. So that's it. Let's decimal be unsigned 8-bit integers, and then let's it be equal to 8. So let's use let's use 8 decimals, right? And so the next thing we want to do in this case is very simple. We want to now create the currency, right? And so you're going to create the currency with the create currency function, and you're going to see it in a bit. But here's the thing: you're going to have to dereference this. So this way is very popular way to do it. So it means treasury is going to be treasury that holds the token. So like the entire supply, right? The amount of supply that you actually specify, and then you can now mint out of it. You can like mint out of that supply so that all of the money in circulation. And so this treasury is what's going to be holding the entire supply. And then metadata is going to be like the metadata of your token, right? This is going to be holding it, right? And so you can now easily create the currency like this. And then I'm just going to open this, and then the witness, first thing I specify, then the next thing it takes in is the decimals, and then the next thing I specify is the symbol, right? And so let's just do the symbol as bytes. So, and then let's call it good. Then the next thing is taken in is our name, like the name of the coin we're trying to create. So in this case, let's create with the lily as the coin. And then it also takes in the description. So any description you want to give the coin, you can easily just do here. So let's just call it good ones only. And then remember always to make sure that these are bytes. So whatever you're specifying, do not forget to add them as bytes. Something that you can easily forget, by the way. And then to provide the URL, we have to use options. So options is actually part of the standard library. So it's option, and then we can now come here and specify an option. So it's option, and then specify the icon URL, icon underscore URL, and then finally transaction context. After this is done, the next thing we want to do is actually to transfer this capacity, like the treasury capacity and the metadata, to the users, like, or the person that comes the contract. And the way we can easily do this is simple. Let us just do transfer and then public freeze object, because we want to make sure that the metadata cannot change. And then so I'm just going to first transfer the metadata, and then the next thing I want to transfer is the treasury. So it's I'm going to use in this case the public transfer function. So it's public transfer, and then the object in this case is our treasury, and then the recipient is the person that sends the, and then so now we specified the transaction sender, and then the next thing we want to do is now create our mint function. But then I'm guessing so yes, treasury is never used mutably, so I'm just going to remove this mute. Actually was going to mint some tokens here, but there's no need for that. Let me just walk you through how you can now mint tokens, right? So to mint tokens in that function. So now you can make your token minting function public, and then you can make it an entry function if you want to, because it doesn't matter in this case because only people that have the treasury capacity can mint tokens, right? Which is why I've actually transferred it to one person. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create the mint function and then take in treasury capacity. So treasury capacity, the way you specify it is this treasury cap, and then it's a mutable reference to the treasury cap. So I'm just going to do treasury cap, use treasury cap function, and then specify the module or the one-time witness, I mean, and then specify the one-time witness. So treasury cap, and then specify the one-time witness. So it's with the lily, and then last thing or more things, and then what we want to do is use the amount to enter the amount of tokens we want to mint. In this case, we want it to be a 64-bit integer, and then do recipients. So the address we want to send it to after we mint it, and then we also want to pass in the transaction context. So table reference to transaction context, tx context, and then in the function, in our mint function, we can now mint the tokens and then send them out. It's as easy as just using the mint function. So it's let's coin be equal to, then using the mint function, then specify the treasury cap here. So this here, and then the value. So for the value is pretty much the amount of tokens you want to send out. So in this case, it's amount, right? And then we have to use this coin object, right? So now I can now transfer it to the recipient. So it's transfer, public transfer. So select that, and then the objects in this case is coin, and it's all of them to the recipients. So recipients in this case, and now that's how you actually do your mint function, and then easily just mint it with this and then transfer it out. Now let's easily build this. So I'm just going to run Sui Move build, and everything is good. We have a warning, so let me just walk through that. So it says use an alias. Okay, it's actually provided by default, so I do not have to import it. And then running Sui Move build again, and everything works. So in the next video, I'm actually going to show you how to publish this. I'm going to take you from publishing this coin on mainnet down to getting the tokens in your wallet to an exchange. So you're going to have to even trade it in our next video. So you don't want to miss this part.